Hey, hi everybody. Welcome to Mental Wellness Today presents Recovery Blog with Bill MacPhee. Hi, I'm your host, Bill MacPhee, and today is January the 16th, 2015. And this is the recovery blog about where our recovery definition, my recovery definition, is when you wouldn't want to be anybody else other than who you are today. And that's our definition of recovery. Today I have a special request, and I'm going to talk a little bit about uh, when people have schizophrenia and children. I get asked a lot, my family member or my son or my daughter has a mental illness, and should they have children? Well, this is what I tell people because they're wondering, they're worried about if the child's going to have schizophrenia or mental illness and different things like that. And what I tell people is that, first of all, it really takes uh, a lot of work to raise children. I have 3 children, and I'm married. And you know what? It's not easy, especially if you're a woman, because let's face it, and I don't care what people say, it's a man's world. It really is. And the woman really takes care of the children more than the father. Now, there's exceptions to that, but I would say that the traditional um, rearing of children is still the same, where usually the mother does a lot of the work. However, what I say to people is that it really takes a community to raise a child. You heard of that proverb, it takes a village to raise a child, right? So it's the same along the lines of there. However, if you have a mental illness, if one parent has a mental illness, the child has, a baby born has 10% chance of developing a mental illness or schizophrenia. Say, for example, the one parent has schizophrenia, it's 10% chance that the baby's going to have schizophrenia when they grow up. If both parents have schizophrenia, um, then the chances are about 50% that a child born when they grow up will have schizophrenia. If neither of the parents have schizophrenia, the chances are 1 in 100. What the global statistic rate is, 1 out of 100 people in general throughout a lifetime will have a diagnosis of schizophrenia. That means that for every, it's 1 in a life, 1 out of every 100 within a lifespan. As well, the as far as people today walking on Earth, 1 out of every 250 people have the illness at present in the world. So there's over 50 million people with this illness known as schizophrenia in the world today. Okay, I want to get down to my point. So one I want to, when people ask me, should I have a child, and I tell them, well, first of all, if you do have a child, if the woman has schizophrenia, you really need to have a lot of support. You need to have support from loved ones and friends and neighbors, because it's not easy dealing with an illness, and it's not easy dealing with an illness when you're raising children as well. However, it's not to say that that can't be done, and it's a thing that shouldn't be done. And my point to this, and I tell people too, is that if they have a baby and they're wondering whether it's going to have a mental illness, well, even if that baby grows up and has a mental illness, you're not gonna love that baby less, or love that person more. People say, oh, as long as the baby's healthy, or as long as it's healthy, we're gonna love them. But you know what? That's not it. Even if you bring a child in the world that has a disability, you're gonna love that child no matter what, because he's your child. That's just the way God made us. However, the reason I'm talking about this is because I had a request that I want to read to you, and I'm asking you to help with this situation. I'm going to explain it to you in a minute, but we're going to post this. We're going to do an e-blast with this uh, blog with to our email list, and we're going to send it out on social media and different things like that. And I'll tell you why. I received an email. From Phyllis Ahrens, who is the executive director of NAMI Sioux Falls in South Dakota. And basically, the email read, "Dear Mr. MacPhee, I have been contacted by a mother whose daughter lives with schizophrenia and has 2 young children. The South Dakota Department of Social Services is trying to state she cannot be a good mother because of her diagnosis. We know this is absolutely inaccurate, but need some research, proof to back this up. Any links you can offer will be greatly appreciated. The hearing date is next week. Thank you for helping make a difference in so many lives. So here's what I want you to do. If you know of somebody who is a parent or a couple who have children, and one of the parents has schizophrenia, specifically maybe the mother has schizophrenia, and is raising a family and is doing fine and loves those children and is providing the best for them and making a happy home. If you know of people doing that right now, I want to urge you to send an email to Phyllis, and the email is basically info at NAMI Sioux Falls.org. So INFO at NAMISouxFalls.org. So again, info at NAMISouxFalls.org. If you know of somebody, or if you came across some literature or in your community or whatever, I urge you to email Phyllis and give her that information that you want. And maybe we can help break some of the stigma and discrimination and help this woman who has so much support and is raising her children, but has to go to court next week. So if you can do that, appreciate it. So anyways, thanks for tuning in. If as well, just introduce myself if people don't. This is the first time you're listening to this blog. My name is Bill MacPhee, and I consider myself a recovery expert. I was diagnosed with schizophrenia in 1987. I was hospitalized 6 different times. I lived in 3 different group homes, and I had a suicide attempt. Today, I'm married. I have 3 children. I have a business, and I am very active in the community. And my definition of recovery is when you wouldn't want to be anybody else but who you are today. And I can say that in all sincerity, that I wouldn't want to be anybody else than who I am today as Bill MacPhee. So thank you for tuning in. And remember, there is life after mental illness. Have a great day.